I think for me in school, I just felt like I was living in a box that I couldn't find my own individual identity in.
I was never smart enough. I never applied myself.
I would say it wasn't that you weren't smart enough, it was probably just, you just weren't connecting with what style of learning was there, you know?
Yeah, I didn't know how it connected to the real world.
Yeah. Yeah, I just remember being really bored in school. It just all felt so theoretical, and you just kind of were learning it and always asking, like, why? Why do I have to learn this, you know? Like, why do I have to learn the quadratic formula? And we all just felt that we needed to get out of there and see the world and see what was possible.
And then it was kind of just those fun little brainstorms that you have of like, wow, could we travel across the country and meet with different people that are living different lives that we had never been exposed to.
We just felt like we had nothing, so we had nothing to lose. So I think that gave us like an attitude to just kind of, you know, go for it.
Are you film students? No. Are you film buffs? No. Do you have any clue what you're, no, not a...
Just push the button again, and you're recording. Recording again. I'm recording it, okay. How do you push stop on this thing?
How do you hit record off?
This RV was from Brian's parents. We bought the tax write-off for.
You know, I mean, we always talk about the motorhome. The road trip really wasn't about the motorhome. It was really about those interviews. We wanted to meet the lobstermen on the coast of Maine. We wanted to interview the designers of Burton snowboards and the National Geographic photographer, and that's what the trip was really about.
This was our dilemma when we graduated from college. All the four of us had ever been exposed to were these roads that had been totally laid out for us. To see what else was out there, we decided to take a road trip across the entire nation for over 15,000 miles to interview leaders from all walks of life and learn how they defined their own roads in life.
I think I was totally displaced. I had no idea what I would do. I think I had a lot of fear and trepidation and insecurity about how it would all turn out. I think sometimes the difference between winning and losing and success and failure is this gray line between will, passion, and self-belief that I'm going to do this.
You know, some people are ready right out of high school to go and jump in. They know what they want to do, and they've never changed their mind. You know, I'm still working out what I want to do.
I thought the whole purpose of the game was to convince other people I was good. You know, I spent all my time and energy compelling others to believe that I was good at what I was doing. And after college, I think I had this realization that it wasn't about that. It was about convincing myself that I was good at whatever I was going to do.
We pulled up into Dell headquarters in his RV. A security guard comes out, state trooper, and they're like, we'd like to know what y'all are doing. And Nate's like, we're meeting Michael Dell, and they're like, yeah. You know?
You got to be yourself. You know, if you want to conform, then you know, that may be fine for you. But you know, I wouldn't have done well in a place where I had to conform because I would have always been resisting. I still do it today.
All right, everybody in. Everybody get out of my way.
What I did is a series of many odd jobs. You know, I worked in a music store. I did all of these different jobs, none of which were very gratifying. And at night, I did what I really wanted to do, which was watch television.
It's gonna be fine. Just watch this. This is what it is. It's just getting behind the wheel and going.
It's what I've been doing for the last 5 years. Up here, measuring lobsters.
That's awesome.
And I wouldn't do anything else given the choice.
So you feel lucky?
Oh, I know I'm lucky.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You only know what you know, right? Whatever the environment that I've been raised in is what I know. But what is that thing that brings you joy? Where's your joy at? What really brings you joy? And I think a lot of times you go to college and you're not searching for your joy. Or you're not told that. Searching for a job. Searching for a career. But you can get all that if you're on the right path.
We were on the book tour and we were doing all this press and we got it in the Today Show, and a crazy thing that started happening was that the press was not looking at like the stories that we had and the very thing that we wanted to share, which was the experience. They were looking at us And we kept pushing back, saying like we were nobody, like we just figured this out and anybody else can do it. And that was really that frustration between people not getting it that then ultimately pushed us to realize that we've got to share this experience in a tangible way and put other people on the road in the same way in which we did our own road trip. And we had just a few dollars left in the bank, and we figured that that was just enough to be able to fly some other road trippers out, put them in the RV and say, here's the keys, go where you want to go, interview the people you want to, and we'll film that experience.
We're really just trying to like get your story in relation to the kind of confusion that we're experiencing now.
I think that it was probably more important than anything that I could have learned from hearing a lecture or reading a textbook or doing a math problem.
It's changed my ideas about a lot of things. I've realized that you have much more choice and freedom than I thought you did.
The people that think out of the box in whatever discipline they're in are the ones that shape the world.
This trip is one of self-discovery, finding the nature of the terrain on which the journey will make you truly happy. Not with what you're doing, but with who you are.
If you want to be like Muhammad Ali, you can be, but will you do the work to be like him? You know what I mean? That's what it is.
I had to prove to my family that a decision I had made was good.
It's almost ridiculous that I've allowed myself to not achieve my dreams when I only have one shot at this life.
So that's when we started thinking, wow, what if Roadtrip Nation could be this real grassroots movement? And so we started the Indie Road Trip program as a way for us to give grants to other students who could build their own trips, go out in their own cars, go on trains, go on bikes, walk down the street. We realized it wasn't really about the green motorhome, it was really more about interacting with these leaders and learning from their personal stories and seeing how they got to where they are. We also started educating ourselves on some of the data on America's current educational system and how the #1 reason why students are dropping out is because school wasn't relevant or connected to real-world learning opportunities. That was a big reason why we hit the road in the first place. And if we had this world of Roadtrip Nation, all this content over here, and then this demographic of students over here who were in school, disengaged, maybe they had lost hope for their futures, and they're just trying to figure out what's out there. If we could bridge that gap, the relevance of our work could really go over the fence.
Looking back on the Roadtrip Nation experience, it wasn't a big step for us to get into packaging a road trip that would walk other people through a step-by-step, experience.
So it starts with the first section, which is exposure. We've taken our entire interview archive and looked at what are these kind of fundamental things that we heard consistently across the country. The second section is self-construction, which is really about taking everything that the students have heard, but then really catering and exploring the interview archive on their own based on the interests that they have personally. And then ultimately the curriculum ends with these road trip scholars going on their own road trip, doing their own local road trip, interviewing people that they care about in their community. And we almost hope that right before the road trip, they're actually frustrated, that they've watched so many interviews of Roadtrip Nation that they want to ask their own questions, that they've got their own questions that are burning.
Did you have any other interests for your career in the future?
Would you say that you took every opportunity that came into you?
How do we make those first steps towards making changes?
And it's that burning desire to kind of make it their own that really propels them into having an amazing road trip.
I think that Roadtrip Nation, all in its own right, is probably the best tool that I can apply myself towards being successful in life.
I'm so grateful that we have it, or else I would probably be going somewhere in life where I didn't like it at all.
In the end, it opened my eyes to seeing that I can really be someone that I'm proud of.
I don't have to work real hard at making it relevant because it is relevant. It talks to the student, it doesn't talk around them, it speaks to them. It's the way that they're formatted. The videos to me are just great. I love them. I think the curriculum's very rich. It's easy for me to make a lesson out of it. And I think it's kind of a way for them to get out of their neighborhood, get out of their street, get out of their school. It takes them somewhere. And I think it's done in a way that's real.
I see it's working. It's changing people's lives. It's changing the way my students think about their future. And I mean, is there anything more powerful than that?
So I think that's our real vision for it, is to mobilize a movement of young people that may have otherwise not had opportunities to explore and see what's out there, and to give them that opportunity to get a sense of how they can define their own roads in life.